This is Glock G28 Talk, Episode 2, the follow-up questions. During our first range report on this firearm, we fired approximately 250 rounds of various ammo. While we expected and had a few failures, other than the critical defense experience, we had what we considered acceptable performance reliability-wise for a new firearm during the break-in period. Since then, we fired another 500 plus rounds through the firearm with zero problems. The accuracy and reliability have been very good, including with the handful of critical defense rounds we fired since that first day. While we don't have near enough rounds through our G28 with that ammo to consider that a break-in period issue, we are at least trending in the right direction on that front. The firearm's tendency to eject brass in the direction of the shooter's face remains annoying. We've seen no change in that behavior. I have been hit in the forehead and eye protection a handful of times now. In our first range report, I speculated this might have something to do with the recoil spring on the firearm and what felt like a 9mm G26 spring. While in the past I had a G26 and could have easily checked that is no longer the case. Nobody in the crew has one either. On the bright side, factory recoil springs are cheap and easy to find. Now, this recoil spring on my G28 is the same size and has the same markings on it as this factory replacement spring that is marked for use with the G26, G27, G33, and G39. It would seem they need to add G28 to that list now that that firearm is available on the US market, even if in an unknown limited quantity. Speaking of recoil springs, another question asked a few times was, can you use the same recoil spring from the G42? No. The G26 and the G42 springs are not the same size. They look similar, but upon closer inspection you find they're not the same size. Moving on to what was probably a more common comment on this firearm. Just get a G26. Similar to other firearms where a 380 and a 9mm model exist, the P365 or the Ruger Security 9 380 for example, our thoughts would be the same as with those. If you can comfortably use the 9mm version, then you likely will see no benefit to owning the 380 version. For others, either by virtue of living in a country where civilians cannot buy the 9mm version, or for some other physical reason they prefer 380. A 380 version of a popular 9mm pistol is a nice option to have. In some cases, like with the G26 and G28, holsters and sights are interchangeable. With firearms like the P365, the interchangeable nature of the parts extends to the grip frame and the fire control unit. Keyboard warriors are quick to comment on the perceived ineffectiveness of the 380 round, but none of them are volunteering to stand at the business end. Note, do not do that, even for science. It would be lethally dangerous. I shouldn't have to give that warning. 380 can be an extremely capable round.
Now this was the second target we fired on. Our coat fell off after 2 shots, so we had to reset. We shot a total of 7 shots. I think only 5 might have went through the bag. As you can see here, we got major damage. It has blown t-shirt material through the bag. Okay, you can see there's a couple. Oh yes, we definitely put some hits on it. Oh, you can see orange lung material has been blown out of the. Oh, look at this. You'll want to zoom in to see this. In the bottom of the t-shirt, we have at least 2 recovered projectiles. We'll set these aside. Let's see what else we have here. I had a feeling we might recover some projectiles. The Eat, Drink, and Bill Murray shirt is now Swiss cheese. No other projectiles captured in the bottom of our t-shirt bag. Now let's move into our sweatshirt. Okay, here we have two completely obliterated oranges. I mean, this one looks like it went through the juicing machine. Into our meat target. Okay, this has, I am going to speculate one of the ones that we stopped hit this rib here. This rib is not shattered at all. This feels like a broke rib. I think this is broke. Yes, you can see bone shards out the back. Yeah, that's a broken rib right there. That's a broken rib right there. One more recovered projectile in our sweatshirt. I think that's it. Now we did also recover just behind the target this bullet, which was, as you can see, it was covered in cotton. So this fell outside of the jacket when we opened up the jacket behind the target. And then 3 of the other, so we have 1 outstanding projectile basically.
Here are the 4 rounds recovered. It can also be an extremely accurate round.
First shot. Got it. Damn.
Moving on to another common question. Are there pinky extensions or extended magazines available? For the G28 specifically, not that I could find in stores locally to me. That doesn't mean they're not out there. I just couldn't find them in stores in my area. However, I was able to find a G26 magazine with a pinky extension, as well as a 17-round extended magazine. In our upcoming 1,000 round review, we will be commenting on if the G26 magazines work in a G28. In other firearms, we have seen where for practice at the range, the 9mm magazines are functional in a .380 firearm. Will that be true with the G28 using G26 magazines? Find out in our 1,000 round review. I'm hopeful we have a good experience with the G26 Pinky magazine. One of the questions we have had so far is how much does that lack of pinky support affect felt recoil of the G28? Compared to something like a Security 380 with its pinky extensions, the G28 has more felt recoil. How much of that is 20 plus years of technology improvements versus the support the pinky gives? We're looking forward to hopefully answering that question as well in the upcoming 1,000 round review video. If there's anything else you would like to see us test in that upcoming 1,000 round review, let us know in the comments below. We plan on including a brief comparison in that video against some of the popular 380s today, like the P365 380, the Ruger Security 380, and the Glock G42. We hope you enjoyed this quick Glock G28 talk video. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a good day. Don't forget to like and subscribe so Freddy gets his biscuits.